Good day, we are Group 8. Today we are going to present our midterm project about scheduling algorithm using our preferred programming language. So we use Java language. And here we have highest response ratio next. Uh, this scheduling algorithm is non-preemptive. It selects and executes the process with the highest response ratio. So this scheduling algorithm it prioritizes the processes that have been waiting for a long time. So with it, it minimizes the average waiting time and turnaround time. So we have we have the here are the variables that are we going to use for our program. Here we have integer for our arrival time, first time completion time, turnaround time, waiting time, response ratio. So we have here a block of codes. This is where the user can input the number of processes. So it says here that if the input is invalid, the code will either return or terminate. So it says here that it only catches the error of the user if it it is less than 1 and greater than 6 or greater than 6. So if the if the user input is less than 1 or greater than 6, it will print invalid number of processes and will the program will then loop based on the number of processes specified by the user, continuing until it reaches the defined process count. So beginning here, the program will loop until it reaches the user specified processes.
Hello, my name is Kurt Nugid. I'm from BSTS2C and we are Group 8. This code generates the Gantt chart using the highest response ratio HRRN scheduling algorithm. It checks all processes that have arrived, calculates their waiting time, and then computes the response ratio using the formula waiting time plus burst time divided by burst time. The process with the highest response ratio is selected for execution. And if two have same value, the one with the lower index is chosen. This loop continues until all processes are completed and the Gantt chart is printed to visually represent the entire scheduling processes. Slide 6. In this part, the CPU executes the selected process. The current time is updated by adding the burst time, and the completion time of the process is recorded. From this, the turnaround time is calculated as completion time minus arrival time, and the waiting time is calculated as turnaround time minus burst time. Once done, the process is marked as completed, and the completed count is increased. Finally, the program prints the result in a table format. The table shows the process details including arrival time, burst time, waiting time, turnaround time, and response ratio, which gives a clear overview of the scheduling results. Slide 7. In the final step, the program calculates the average turnaround time and the average waiting time. The turnaround time shows how long a process takes to complete, while the waiting time shows how long a process spends waiting in the queue. By summing up all turnaround times and waiting times and then dividing by the total number of processes, the program gets the averages. These averages are important because they help evaluate how efficient the scheduling algorithm is in managing processes. Slide 8. In the output presentation, the program first asks for the number of processes. To ensure valid input, it is designed to automatically terminate if the entered value is less than 1 or greater than 6. For example, entering 0 or 7 will display an error message saying invalid number of processes. This validation step is important because it prevents incorrect scheduling and ensures the program only runs within the defined process limit.
Good day, ma'am. I'm Jobert Gesto. First, the user input of the number of process, then along with their arrival times and burst times. Using this information, the program computes the order of execution based on the HRRN logic. Next, the program generates a Gantt chart. This chart visually shows the sequence in which each process is executed, including the exact and start time, finish time. The Gantt chart is useful to clearly tracking how the CPU time is allocated among processes. After that, the program displays a summary table which is yung mga may arrival time, burst time, which is yung mga in-input niya, and then yung calculation ng waiting time, turnaround time, and response ratio. Then finally, the program calculates the average and waiting time and average turnaround time. These two values are important metrics in operating system scheduling because they measure the overall efficiency and responsiveness of the algorithm. In conclusion, our program demonstrates how HRRN work scheduling improves fairness by considering both waiting time and burst time in process selection. Compared to algorithms like first come first serve or shortest job first, HRRN reduces the chances of process starvation while still keeping the system efficient. The Gantt chart, process table, and average time calculation provide a complete overview of performance, making HRRN a balanced scheduling choice in a scenarios where fairness is priority. Thank you. That concludes our presentation about HRRN scheduling algorithm. We've walked through the input process, the generated Gantt chart, the summary table of results, and the performance metrics such as average and waiting time or turnaround time. Through this, makikita natin na HRM provides a good balance between efficiency and fairness, ensuring that both short and long processes are given fair chances to execute. Thank you for your time and attention. Thank you.